Okay, welcome to episode 5 of Behind the Lens podcast. My name is Keira Knedeisen, incoming multimedia editor at The Slate, and I'm excited to learn from someone I consider my mentor and learn about their journey in the field. Behind the Lens aims to highlight multimedia creators in photography, videography, and everything in between. I'm also very excited to go behind the lens with the host you all know and love, Madison Sharp. Madison is a sophomore at Shippensburg University, current multimedia editor at The Slate, and incoming editor-in-chief. Thank you for being here. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, like Keira said, my name is Madison. I'm a sophomore at Shippensburg. I am a comm journ major with a concentration in visual media and a minor in English. And yes, I'm going to be the editor-in-chief next year. I'm super excited. I've spent pretty much my entire time in multimedia, and so I'm excited to kind of move up and experience other things.
Management, we're also excited for you. Congrats.
Thank you.
So let's get the real background. How did you get involved in photography?
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So I didn't really get into photography seriously until my junior year. My friend took a photography class at high school, and he kind of just convinced me to take it just for fun. And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. And then I took it, and I kind of just, never looked back after that. I remember my parents, when I was a kid, my mom would always say that I was taking, good photos just with her phone and stuff. I'd take a photo of a tree or something, and she's like, I never would have thought to, take it like that or
that
whatever.
Angle.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't think too much of it. I was just let's just take pictures. I was just, the family photographer. But then it wasn't until high school that I really started, taking classes. I took 3 photo classes in high school. I took, AP photography. I was, vice president of photography club, and I did a lot of stuff in there. And then, after high school, I kind of was this is it for me. There's nothing else, I'd rather be doing.
That's kind of the opposite for me. I took a photo class in high school, but I hated being told what to photograph, so I was like, this is stupid, I don't like this. And then I, kind of gave it up, but it was always, a little hobby that I was like, if I get the chance to, creatively explore it, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I met you, and I'm like, well, okay. I'm a little bit roped in now, but happy to be here, nonetheless. Yeah. What type of experience do you have in photography?
Of experience?
Professional, personal, anything?
Okay, I'll talk about, college the past couple years. I've been taking photos for The Slate kind of since I got into college. I was, I talk about this all the time, but being involved in The Slate and being able to take pictures for them is kind of why I chose the school and why I chose this department. I knew it was something I wanted to get involved in the second I chose the school. And, I talked to Dr. Drager, our advisor, and he really kind of told me everything I needed to know. And I just started going to Slate meetings and just signing up for as many things as I could. Having that background I had in high school, it wasn't as nerve-wracking for me to, go on the field or whatever. Obviously, it was a different process because I'm in college now, but I already felt pretty comfortable behind the camera and, photographing other people and stuff like that. And so I very quickly got involved in the Slate. And then I also do some paid photography for this community theater back home. I've been doing that for a couple years. I'm trying to get a photo business kind of started up. So I photographed a wedding over winter break.
Oh, wedding photos are amazing.
Yeah. It's very hard to do, but it was fun. And then I'm taking some grad photos and stuff in the spring here. I interned at the farm show in January, and that was probably the coolest photography thing I've gotten to do. I just lived on the complex for 10 days and photographed so many just crazy events that were so fun. And
so would you say that the farm show was your favorite?
I'd say so. It was so cool, especially since I'm from Philly area. I hadn't even really heard of the farm show. And, I know a lot of people at SHIP who have done that internship, and they kind of recommended me for it. And I fell in love with it. I had the best time taking photos of everything. And
see, you're from Pennsylvania and you haven't heard of it. I'm from Maryland and I hadn't heard of it. So when you said you hadn't heard of it, I was like, who hasn't heard of it?
It's kind of crazy. I feel like I definitely was very Philly area focused. My family knew what it was, and they went maybe once or twice, but my family is not one to very travel that much. I think this is the furthest west I've been I think, is Shippensburg. Like, we don't really travel that much. I'm very much localized here. And so I am also surprised I hadn't heard of it, but
See, that's kind of crazy because it's like now I associate it with that internship because that's the only thing I've heard of it. But then like when it happened, I had a friend who was like going for fun, and I was like, oh, I forgot you could do that. You don't have to work
and
like
that's
or
what's
anything.
so cool about it is because like, you know, I'm hoping to intern there again, hopefully. But even in the future, like if I go to the farm show, like my first memories are always going to be just like that super cool experience I had of like being like behind the scenes and like, meeting so many people. Like it was really fun.
Love that. So now sectioning into something we have in common and the merch you're repping today, the slate. Hopefully you'll be able to get it next semester at some point again. When did you start working for the multimedia section of the slate?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I kind of really just jumped in right from the get-go. You know, I had talked to Dr. Drager before about the slate and the different sections, and I knew I loved photography, and so I knew multimedia was the place for me. I also love writing as well, and so I knew I wanted to eventually write, but, you know, coming in freshman year, photography was my strongest suit and what I felt most comfortable in, and so I very quickly, you know, went over and met Jaden, our current editor-in-chief. She was multimedia editor when I came in, and she really just made me feel welcome, and I just signed up for as many events as I could, and very quickly knew I wanted to take a leadership position there.
Did you check off your goal of writing for every section this year?
I did. I'm proud to announce I have finally written a sports article.
Wait, for the last print?
Not for the last print.
I was about to say, I didn't see that in there, so I was like, wait, when was it?
No, it was like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Yeah, I'm taking sports journalism right now, and so I was like, this is the perfect opportunity.
You felt inclined.
And so, it was in February, I think, yeah.
Okay.
I went and wrote for the women's basketball senior day game, and it was actually, I'm pretty proud of the article, and so, yeah.
Good.
I'm about to be for every section.
I'm about to be in basic news reporting, so I might be writing for the news section. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I'm excited for you.
Who knows? So you might have already explained this, but how did you get approached about it? Like, were you the one who had, like, put the initiative for you to get it, or was someone, like, how you were for me, being like, hey,
yeah,
this is a good idea?
Yeah, I was just so all in with the slate, like, ever since I got here. Like, I mean, I enjoy the other things that I'm a part of, and I want to branch out and try other things, but the slate has always been, like, my favorite thing at this school. And so, you know, I started taking a lot of pictures, and naturally, you know, when the application came out, I was like, I have to
This
try.
is my chance.
Yeah, and at the time, I didn't know Jaden was moving up to editor-in-chief at the time, so I thought...
I don't think she did. I think I watched your episode, and she didn't even know.
She didn't know either. But so I assumed that I was going to maybe be her assistant last year, or this year, I guess. But then, I found out she was moving up, and so Hayden and I kind of just...
joined forces.
We were a duo for a while until you came along. But, yeah, I definitely knew it was a goal of mine. I just didn't know, like, when it was going to happen, but I'm happy it did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask any advice you would give to people coming into this role? Me.
So, like, multimedia people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Leadership, anything.
Yeah. I think specifically when it comes to photography, I think you just really have to put yourself out there and just keep taking pictures. Like, I always say, like, everybody needs pictures, and, like, it's so true. Like, even, I know at my freshman, like, this was welcome weekend, I met with the acting group, and I literally just told them that I was a photographer, and they're like, oh, do you want to come take pictures for us? And then I just started doing it, like, my first semester.
Yes, actually, I do.
Yeah, like, everybody needs pictures, even if it's just a club. Like, reach out, be like, hey, like, do you need pictures of this event? I'm going to be there. Like, it just helps get your name out there. And I think that also, you know, pairs with leadership as well. I think it's so important for students to take leadership roles, you know, especially if you're in this field. I mean, student media is where you're going to get your experience. Especially, you know, being at a smaller school, there's just so many ways you can get involved, and you can get involved right when you walk into the door. Like, if you go to, you know, some of these bigger schools, you might not be able to get on the field and take pictures until, like, your junior year. Mm-hmm. Whereas here, like, I came in as a freshman, I was already on the field my first semester taking pictures. I was doing all the things that I wanted to do in college. And so, yeah. I think
now you're leadership, the
yes.
leadership at what,
yes.
junior year? Like,
yeah. but yeah, there's just so many opportunities for people to get involved, and it's just so important, especially in this field, because you can leave the school with 4 years of just so much experience and so many different things if you're just willing to put yourself out there and just try new things. And I think that's just really important.
Yeah, that was a huge selling point for me now that I'm doing, like, open houses for, like, recruitment for, like, PRSSA and everything, or just doing open house in general, because I had a great time. But it's, like, that's my selling point is the main, like, you want to get involved. Like, it's encouraged here. At other schools, you might just be one in the crowd for a little while, and you might have to put yourself out there. But here, if you have both skills, it looks pretty dang good.
It definitely, it's so important to be well-rounded, like, especially in this field.
Yeah, I always love being the youngest in the room, too. Like, even in leadership, like, just being in a room and being like, oh, I have this role. And people are like, wow, like, look at you. And I'm like,
yeah, I think it's
hey,
so
thanks.
easy to have, like, imposter syndrome sometimes when you're younger. Because I'm like, I'm 19 and I'm going to be editor-in-chief. Like, that doesn't feel, like, right in my brain. I'm like, I feel like I just got here. But, you know, I have really put myself out there and tried a bunch of things. And
but if you feel ready,
it doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what year you are. As long as you just, you know, put in the effort and just do your best.
Ready to learn.
What matters.
Everything,
it's the person behind it that matters the most. So
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite memory as editor of the multimedia section at the Slate?
My favorite memory?
Yes, we've had so many.
Honestly, I can't even think of, like, a particular memory. It'll probably come to me later. I'm going to be like, dang, I should have talked about that. But
we can come back.
I think it's always just, like, I came into the Slate for the experience, but I stayed here for the people. And, like, it's so true because we have such a great community here, and we have so many seniors graduating, which is so sad. But truly just, I've never been a part of something that I can be there, I can be tired, I can be there all day, and I still just have the most fun, like, ever. And I get to do what I love with, like, the people that I love. And it's genuinely the best thing that you could be involved with at this school, I think.
That's one of my favorite parts of our, like, our major or even our department. It's just, like, the professors. Literally, one just walked by us in the hallway, and we had, like, stopped and had a conversation. Like, our awards ceremony, no other department does that. Like, my roommate's a chem major, and I was, like, getting dressed up to go to the event. She's like, oh, where are you going? And I was like, oh, awards night for my major. She goes, my major doesn't do that. And I'm like, oops.
And that's what I think is so cool about student media is that a lot of other majors, you have classes with people, and then, like, you don't really see them again. Like, you know, might have a club together or might do this thing, but student media, like, when you're, like, really involved in it, you're spending so much time with these people, and you get really close with them, and it's just such a great community of people that want to.
And it's so good for, like, development too. Like, as like a freshman coming in, like, being like, oh, where am I gonna find my people? I'm encouraged to go to places where I found my people. Like, having it as a requirement is, like, so huge because it's, like, daunting at first, but it's like you get there and you're like, I kind of don't want to leave, and I'm not going to. So there you go. But then it also goes by so quickly and all that stuff. So you know. Going back to your experience and professional applications rather than just student media, what experience would you say has contributed the most to developing your skills? I know your farm show was your favorite, but, like, what would you say? Be like, oh, I learned a lot there.
Yeah.
Could be the farm show.
The farm show really did help me, I think, when it comes to just because that was the first big, I guess, job that I had with photography outside of school, because especially the farm show is so fast-paced, and there's so many, like, unpredictable things that happen, and, you know, literally sleeping there, like, with all the animals every day.
That's
like,
so fun to
living
think
off
about.
Farm show milkshakes. Like, you're tired, you're not in a good mood sometimes, but yeah,
you gotta walk across the farm show to get to the other event that you can take pictures at.
It was a really good time. It really did show me kind of what, like, the real kind of things I'm going to be experiencing, because it was so fast paced. Like, I have so many events in the day, and then every single day, you know, after the events, I'm going back to the office and I'm editing pictures all day, and it's just, like, all day, every day, and it was so fun, but it was a lot. And it really kind of, you know, I love that fast-paced kind of nature about this field. Like, I love when people are like, oh, can you go take pictures of this? I'm, like, editing something. I'm like, yeah, I got you. And I go take pictures, and I come back literally running. And I really do like that. But I think the farm show really made me feel like more confident, and I think more appreciative of like the experiences that I have. Like I remember me and Luke Rainey, we were photographing the mini mule pulling contest, and there was this woman in the stands, and she like called down to us, and she was like, "That must be the most fun job in the world." And I was like, it really is.
You have no idea.
Yeah, I'm like, how cool is it that I get to go take pictures of this stuff and just do what I love, and
other people wish they were in your position, I guess.
Yeah, and like millions of people are seeing, like they send us the little thing with all the stats, and like millions of people were seeing our pictures, and it's
that's like, awesome.
It's crazy to think about, but it's so cool, and that experience really did kind of like, I mean, obviously I've known that this is what I want to do, but that experience just made me love it even more.
I love that. What other fun experiences come to mind when you think of developing your skills and passions? So maybe not the one that like you were like, oh, that was my turning point, but more that you're like, that was a little thing that I had fun doing. Or that you want to do in the future, maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to break the fourth wall, but this podcast has been really fun to make. Yeah, because I've always loved doing podcasts.
Everyone does. You ask anybody in this department or like mention that we have a podcast studio, and someone's like, let's make a podcast.
Exactly.
I have so many friends. When I was filming one of my projects for my basic media class, and I was like filming my soccer practice, my soccer friends, like I was talking about how I was going to like, I have to go do a voiceover for it, and I would have to record it in the podcast studio. And they were like, we have a podcast studio? Not commentary majors, by the way. And I was like, yes. And they were like, and looked to their friend, let's start a podcast. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, everyone needs to do it. When I filmed my podcast assignment for that class, I was literally sitting here with my friend, and I was like, this could be a real thing. Like, we have the resources. This is crazy.
And that's my thing. I'm like, we have so much that you can use here. Not even just, like, this podcast studio. There's so much that you can use, so much equipment you can rent out. There's just endless possibilities with the stuff that you can create. And so, yeah, I guess the medium of like podcasting always really interested me. And, I've thought about starting shows at like WSYC and stuff like that. And I still might do that in the future.
I want to too.
But I also thought like the video element would be so cool. And then I'm like, oh, I'll get to have experience like editing video and stuff. And I also feel like it's made me more well-spoken. Like, I'm not used to being in front of the camera, but I feel like this podcast has really helped me with that, and I think it's just so cool. It's like, I don't know, I just love seeing the final product. Like, that's part of the reason why I love the Slate so much, like seeing the final paper. Like, today was our last print edition, and just like seeing that is just,
everyone go get it,
theslateonline.com. But it's really just, it's just so cool getting to see like the full product and getting to kind of, broaden my skills out there and be like, yeah, I have a podcast. Like, that's so cool. Like, I've always wanted to say that.
Add that to the resume.
Yeah.
Also, definitely. If you're becoming more well-spoken, we'll catch you as the next anchor of SUTV. Hey.
No announcements yet.
We're foreshadowing. So I guess you answered some of my other questions. Let's look to the future a little bit.
Ooh.
I know you're not wearing anything with editor-in-chief on it, but how did you get approached or interested in being editor-in-chief?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if you read my Your World Tomorrow.
Not yet.
theslateonline.com.
I'm going to get my copy on the way out.
Yeah, but I really, I remember when I, came into the Slate, obviously, like I've said, I really only knew photography. I'd never been part of a newspaper before, but I met with Dr. Drager, and I've always been somebody who has, high aspirations, but I feel like sometimes, I tend to doubt myself. I'm like, oh, but that's not going to be me. I can't do that. I've been working on it, but I know I had my meeting with him before I'd chosen SHIP as a school, and he was just kind of showing me the paper. He gave me a tour of the Slate office, and he pointed to the editor-in-chief at the time in the paper, and he was just like, I don't know what he's like. He
that
prophesized this. He literally looked at it and said, maybe that could be you one day. I think he was joking.
Wow.
And I was like, in my head,
you might have to bring that up to him. Be
like, I put in the article.
Oh, so, I love that.
Because it genuinely, that, thing he said just stuck with me ever since. And I honestly do think that conversation really helped instill some confidence in me, because I'm like, this guy who's never met me before.
No,
he's like, maybe that could be you one day. And I know he was kind of just, joking.
Sure.
But I was also like, I don't know. I remember coming to my first Slate meetings, and that was never something in my mind because obviously I was a freshman. I didn't know what I was doing. I was new to the school. I was new to living away from home, all of that kind of stuff.
All the things, yeah.
But I remember being in my first Slate meetings and, like, seeing the editor-in-chief up there and being like, you know, that would be kind of cool, but that's not going to be me. And then, you know, I, you know, very quickly started getting involved, and I really just, like, fell in love with the whole process, and I kept taking pictures, and then I started writing a bunch. And then I stepped into multimedia. And then at that time, I remember at the CJM Awards is when I saw that Jaden got announced as the new editor-in-chief. And I don't know. I think being multimedia, I kind of doubted myself a little bit because I'm like, oh, I don't have this huge, like, news background. Like, that couldn't be me. But then, you know, seeing Jaden do it and just seeing, like, how, like...
the possibility.
Yeah, like, she's done such a good job this year. That helped as well. Like, seeing her do that, I'm like, wow, like, if she can do it, I can do it. And then, you know, I just kept getting even more and more involved. And then it kind of just became like, you know, a lot of people were leaving. And, you know, I really felt ready to take on a role like that. And I just, you know, I wanted to go for it. And I really wanted, to just try my best, and ended up getting it. And now I'm doing that, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, with your passion, it seems like the right choice. But I was just, like, thinking while you were talking, and it was really funny, because when I came to honors orientation, we had to go down that little, like, scavenger hunt to find places around campus. Yeah. Mine was the Slate office.
That's
so I have
funny.
A picture with Dr. Drager.
Yeah, mine was WSYC. Like, it's so funny.
You might have to get in there then.
Now I'm podcasting.
That's hilarious. But it's like, I was like, oh, prophecy. And then I was talking to, I think, Viper the other day, and we were talking about the pipeline. I'm like, and they were like, you, like, multimedia editor, like, Ship Life managing editor, multimedia editor, pipeline. I was like, it's going to be me and Adam. And they were like, oh, well, Adam's going to be a senior or whatever. So when he gets an assistant, that'll be your guy. And I was like, okay.
That worked out that way, because I knew me and Viper were kind of, you know, the people that they were thinking about moving up. And I was like, wow, wouldn't it be funny if it was multimedia and Ship Life? Like, again, like, we're like the mini Megan and Jaden, like... And it's really funny it worked out that way.
The pipeline, but hey, no shoes to fill. Make your own management team. Yes. Be your own dream team.
Exactly.
Is there a way you're planning to incorporate multimedia or photography skills in your role in editor-in-chief? Like, I guarantee you're still planning to, like, contribute and everything, but it's like, how much are we thinking? Like, I don't know your roles, so if you have things to do.
Yeah.
Apart from that.
Photography is my baby, and I'm never going to stop taking pictures. I'm going to have a lot more responsibilities, like, as EIC. But, you know, I definitely want to, like, hey, if people want me to take the staff photos, I'll take the staff photos. Like, I'm still going to be there to help out with photography. And, you know, I think also, you know, there's a lot of new people moving into section head positions this coming fall. And so I think naturally Viper and I are going to have to kind of use the skills we already have to, you know, help people feel more comfortable. And so, you know, Viper comes from more of, like, a writing background. I come from more of a photography background. And so I think we're going to make a good pair. Like, it's not like neither of us know how to do one of the things. Like, we can kind of work together and help everybody out. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously I want to keep doing this podcast as well. And so I'm always going to be multimedia at heart. And I'm hoping to, I'm just hoping to continue just building off of that stuff in this new role.
You saying that about you and Viper makes a lot of sense, because I've heard them, like, editing in the corner being like, like, all the things, grammar and editing, and I'm like, they're a really good writer, and I'm like, that makes more sense. Like, that's such a perfect team. Wow, I love that. Okay. This is a question I've talked about with Viper, and they gave me an interesting answer, so I'm curious to see your answer. Since you'll be a junior next semester when you're editor-in-chief, what are your plans after? Like, have you thought that far along? Viper was thinking that you guys could, like, switch, and I was like, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that was what we talked about.
Okay.
Is, switching. It's still up in the air. Like, we don't really know what's going to happen.
I didn't know if you thought that far along yet.
Yeah.
Gotta get through the job first.
But, you know, Viper and I will have to figure it out. Like, we did talk about, like, switching, but, you know, there's always the possibility of somebody else applying and all that stuff. So, you know, it's still, you know, we'll get there when we get there. But, I'm just looking forward to next year. And that's, you know, I just got to focus on the now.
Figured I'd pick your brain a little bit.
Try to get the juicy deets.
Sorry, investigative journalism and podcasting combined. As editor-in-chief, I know Viper's talked about this, bringing them up a lot, but are there any plans you have for the multimedia section specifically that will benefit others working in that section? Because I know Viper talked about, like, buying new equipment and stuff, but is there, like, certain plans that you guys have to benefit others?
I mean, we have plans, we thankfully have a budget that we can use to purchase some stuff to help out our staff.
We got a great PR team that's going to keep the money coming in.
I believe there's talks of getting a fan because it gets way too hot in there. Mice as well, because as you know, Multimedia Corner, like, notoriously does not work. The technology constantly fails us. So yeah, there's talks about just getting some little things for the office. I have, like, some ideas for the multimedia section that, I would have tried to implement if I were still in that section, that I'm probably going to be laying on to you and see what you think. Obviously it's your section now, so
fair.
But yeah, I think it's very important at the start of the year to, just try to get people involved as soon as you can, especially with taking pictures. I think, especially freshmen, I think a lot of the time freshmen are scared to write unless they have been writing for a newspaper for a while.
That was me.
They normally come in and they're just kind of nervous about it. I mean, I know I was. And so I think people with pictures a lot of the time are a lot more willing to go pick up an event earlier on because it doesn't seem as daunting of a process.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of the time, we have people shadow. Like, I know when I went to my first football game, I went with Jaden and she kind of showed me
I went with you to my first football game. Look at that.
Exactly. Aw.
I was thinking about that day the other day because it was Parents' Weekend, and I was like,
it was.
That was September.
It was a long time ago.
April. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just encouraging people to just kind of get involved and, try not to make it seem scary. Like, obviously, we want to produce, like, good work and we want people to stay and be consistent. But also I think it's just really important to just be welcoming and be like, hey, like, this is your opportunity to explore your passions and to try things out.
Get published, get the requirements you need, because we all need a portfolio at the end.
This is the only time in your life that you're going to have this many options to choose
Resources.
from. Exactly. And so I think it's
free resources.
Yes. I think it's just, encouraging people to just get involved right when you can, because it truly does make a really big difference in your college career.
Yeah, that's what I love about, like, people like us, because, like, I'm going to be a recruiter for another club in this multimedia, like, or not multimedia, but, like, student media section. So it's, like, just, like, being able to just reach out to people and, like, get them to do things, whatever. I feel like that's how I got Patrick to be my assistant for next year.
Shout out Patrick.
I want you. And then the thing about, like, being nervous to write, classes in high school kind of ruined the journalism for me, because I had that photography class I didn't like, and then I was in journalism class for, like, a semester, and my teacher basically told me my writing sucked, and so I was like, so I, like, came to the slate and I kept telling people, I was like, I don't know, and then I wrote my first two sports articles, and, like, I walked up to, like, Mason and, like, asked if he got my article. He goes, yeah, I read it, it was great. And I was like, really? I was like, wait. And then I saw it in the paper, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's always, like, he's so sweet. He came up to me today, and he's like, great column. And I was like, oh, you read it. Like, oh, it's so sweet.
You read it? You reviewed it?
Yeah.
He's on top of it, too.
Oh, he is on top of it, yeah.
I hope he gets an award on Sunday. He deserves something.
He's the best. He got Slater of the Year last year. Yeah,
Two-peat?
like, of course.
Can we do it a second time? I don't know. Is there a nomination page? Sign me up. No, how exciting. But in regards to the future, where do you see your future and career going in regards to photography? I know you're you're thinking on the business path, but is there...
Yeah, it's definitely still up in the air, for sure. I think I do want to have kind of like a photography business, at least on the side.
Sure.
I don't know if I'd want to do it full-time. I mean, if the opportunity would fall in my lap and I was able to do it full-time, that'd be the dream. But, I would love to, like, work for a newspaper or something. And it's unfortunate, a lot of, like, the traditional newspapers are kind of, like, they're not as, prevalent anymore. But, yeah. I would really love to, just keep doing something similar to what I'm doing now. I think, being able to tell these stories in different ways has been really fun for me. And so,
No, being in a newsroom is fun. If it's anything like the Slate, it should be a great time. Maybe a more professional and hectic or chaotic, if you will. But
it's super fun.
Drager always tells his war stories, being like,
oh yeah. You'll only hear more of them.
I'm
next
excited.
year. But I also, nothing's set in stone yet, but I am considering going to grad school after
Nice.
graduating. The dream would be to go somewhere else, like outside of the state. I have a few places in mind, but it's so far in advance. I'm still figuring
At least
it
you're
out.
planning. Like, that's better than, I feel like that's better than most people, is that, like, you're thinking about it. I don't know if I forced you to think about it right now.
No,
but
it's been on my mind. I don't know exactly what I'd want to go, but if I found something I was passionate enough about, and I think I would like to get my master's. And so even if I don't do it right after graduating, I think I'd want to maybe try to work for like a couple years and then go back and get it. But
you're always learning, always ambitious.
lifelong learner. That's me.
Aww. At least you know that. Like, some people don't even know. Like,
I
that.
really do love school, and I love learning. Sorry to sound like such a nerd on the pod.
No, literally, like, me walking through campus, I'm like, wow, I love this school. And I'm, like, doing my finals, and I'm like, in a week, I won't be doing this. And I'm like, that feels weird. Like, because, like, I'm enjoying, like, typing up my little essay right now.
It does not feel real to me that I'm halfway done college. It does not feel real to me that I'm going to be a junior in, like, a week and a half. It feels...
Me neither.
Really
this
wrong.
first year flew by. I'm like, I can't say I'm a first year anymore.
I know.
I'm losing my youngest person in the room status.
Yeah, it's scary how fast college goes by, because it totally flies. But it's good, because that means you're enjoying it, you know. So
definitely, thanks to you. But we don't have to get into that. Shout out, by the way, to Honors Awards and Best Mentor over here. So just a little shout out.
Thank you.
No one deserves it.
All Keira's nomination.
Okay, since I've watched some of your podcast episodes, as everyone should be doing, I don't know if this is a common theme to wrap up on, but you seem to ask about AI and their opinions on it. I don't know if this is a common concluder, but if you want to give your guest thoughts instead of host thoughts, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah. I apologize, because I honestly, I don't have too much to say on AI as far as, like, I think it can be a helpful tool, but I think there definitely is a line. Like, it scares me a lot when it comes to, like, art and stuff like that. It's just, sometimes you just can't tell anymore, and I think it can be very harmful, and I think sometimes, it can really take away from the creativity that some people have. Like, I feel almost pressured to know how to use AI, and I think people should know how to use AI, because it is going to be the future, and I think you need to learn the tools, even if you don't necessarily want to use them very often. Like, it's good to know it, so you know kind of what the lines are and what you can and can't do with it. Because you will probably be asked to use it at some point, and so it's good to know how to use it. I know right now we're making senior pages, and we're using a lot of AI on those, and it's kind of been fun, I'm not going to lie. Like, it can be
a little
fun.
Something here and there.
Yeah, it can definitely be fun, but, there is a line, and I'm a little worried in this field specifically how it's going to, shape out. But, I try to have faith that the person behind the camera and the person, like, producing the work will remain to be the most important thing. Yeah. At least I choose to believe that.
One of my most interesting things that, like, happened recently was at CJM Day when they brought it up, and they were, like, asking the audience, like, who likes AI? And, like, I raised my hand because I don't like it. Like, I don't know if it's just, like, a me thing and it's, like, something I have to grow into, but it's, like, anything I don't like or I don't understand more, I don't like. So it's, like, I don't understand AI, so I'm like, oh, I don't like it. Like, it's just, like, with everything. And I've, like, had conversations with, like, my dad. My dad's a software engineer, right? So it's, like, I talk to him, and I'm like, oh, I don't like AI. Like, I don't use it. And he's like, you should. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you need to know it. Like, it's the thing that's developing. It's the future. It's growing. It's, like, you're, like, I like what they said at CJM Dates, but, like, it's, like, AI won't replace your job, but people who know how to use it might. Like, type thing. And I was like, okay, maybe that's a summer thing, because I got a little too much on my plate right now with, like, school and everything. Maybe I'll learn it over the summer. But even, like, just that conversation's a little, like, intimidating almost. And it's even, like, now, too, in school, it's, like, so many people just have it in their pocket and use it. I still ask my friends to use it for me. Like, I don't even have it downloaded anywhere, and they're like, it's free, or it's just, like, it's everywhere. I get that it's everywhere now, but I'm not actively seeking it. Like, I'll use it if it's there, but I didn't have ChatGPT anywhere on any of my things for the longest time, because I was like, I'm good. I was like, I don't I don't want to use it. Even like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
scary.
if I'm falling for the propaganda that it's bad for the environment or if it truly is. I don't know where the facts are on that one. I haven't went to look because I don't really want to know, but I don't know.
It's definitely, you know, I mean, I feel like there's two sides of every coin, but yeah, I am leaning towards, I'm not the biggest fan,
Yeah.
but, you know,
I'll
we'll see.
report
It's
back
just-
after summer after I learn a few things.
Yeah, like, you know, it is the future, though, and so we've just got to try to adapt to it and, you know, learn as best we can so we can, you know, adapt well.
Yeah. On that sad and intimidating note, is there anything else you would like to add or a parting message you want to share? Any advice, even though I already asked you for some advice?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just reiterate something that I have said on and on. But you know, I mean, now that I'm halfway done college now, I guess for people who are entering college or even for people who've been here for a couple of years and maybe they're in our major and they haven't really tried getting involved or they're scared about things, like everybody has to start somewhere and you're never gonna improve or anything like that if you don't start. And like every single year I look back on what I did the past year and I'm like, wow, like I've come so far, and that's only because I keep putting myself out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important for people to do. And there are always people out there to help you, especially, you know, if you're in student media. Like, there's so many
We're
people.
nice. We're welcoming. We promise.
Yes, there's so many opportunities, like not even just at the Slate, like everywhere, for you to get involved and get your name out there. And it's so important. So, yeah, I just, you know, have some confidence in yourself and, you know, just go put yourself out there because you never know what's going to happen.
I definitely agree. I feel like that's like the theme in like your columns and like your World Today and Tomorrow and stuff. It's so cute. I said, well, thank you for doing this and switching up a little bit. That will conclude today's episode. This has been Behind the Lens podcast. Thank you for listening and be on the lookout for future episodes.